Welcome everybody back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Carson.
And Lindsay.
And this is Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, Episode 17. What happened last time?
Last time we went hunting for rats.
Bug eaten.
And we got them.
Yeah, they're taken out. Really nice buddy cop detective episode with Josuke and Jotaro. And now we're getting into some real good shit. Hope you guys leave a like and subscribe. Hope you enjoy our reaction most of all. I've seen the show. Lindsay has not. Check out Patreon to get a week ahead. That's 3 episodes of this, 3 episodes of Haikyuu, 3 episodes of Boruto, and a bunch of exclusive content as well. Even at our lower tiers, there's some stuff that you can check out there. Link in the description. Patreon.com/BOLDcast. Let's go. Rohan!
Get the fuck away from me!
Jesus.
When he was like, I lived here since the time I was born, I was like, are you retconning your own life right now? Because we found out that he moved here a couple months ago.
Retconning? He said that he lived here for a
No,
small time
when I started, before I read the whole thing.
You weren't paying attention, but on the map, that building and this building are connected.
Oh.
But there's no road or alley between these places. It's like right there.
Oh, okay. A mysterious alley. You literally kidnapped this kid and like stole all his shit and almost killed him, and then you're getting mad when he's not just obeying everything you say because you can't read a map.
Can't read a map.
He's like, I need to find my old house. I wonder if there's a stand that creates alleys that then like trap people in them or something. Are they trapped in there now? A ceiling, like an invisible. Uh-oh.
You like how Echoes is all scared, like.
Uh-oh. Oh, this girl from the opening. She has a really cool design. I like the all pink. Whoa!
It's like the protagonist in his comic book.
He's great to have on your side.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of disturbing. Oh. Is any of this relevant?
No, but he's addicted to finding information. He just reads way too deep into it.
Oh. All true, all true. 15 years ago, there was a murder. What?
って何かが滴るパパ、ママと呼んだんだけど返事がないんで女の子はそんなに怖くなかったの。そばには愛犬がいたから。大きな番犬よ。グクーンと甘えてペロペロ手を舐めてくれ。だけど相変わらずピチャピチャって音が何十分も続いている。何の音か調べに行くことにしたの。首を切られた愛犬アーノルドがコート掛けに吊るされて死んで。
No!
ピチャピチャって音はベッドの下から声がしたわ。スベスベしてて可愛いね。
Ew.
私もすでに殺したぞ。その女の子も殺されたよ。本当の話ですか？マニキュアの心臓に悪いな。
I like the music. It's
Yeah.
really creepy though.
The atmosphere is really good.
Aww.
He's still a good boy, even though he's bleeding from the neck.
Why did she get killed and she's not bleeding, but he...
Depends on how she got killed.
I guess. Oh.
15年前の私が死んだ場所に入り私と波長があったのね。あの世とこの世の境目なの。
Even she said they're on the same wave.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
I was wondering if she was gonna be a ghost, but then I didn't know how that would work, like how
Or
that...
with the new stands
Yeah.
and everything. But no, this is like limbo.
Yeah.
This place. That's why they can't escape, and it's not a stand. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting because it is totally possible for there to be there's literally vampires in this story and like weird guys trapped in a pillar for a million years. So
Yeah.
That was a long time ago, but even still.
It wasn't that long ago. It was just part 3. Like, we had vampires still in part 3 and ghosts and shit.
Yeah. Whoa.
の方法しかそれは私がどうやれば幽霊なんかと戦えるんだ。取り付くのはやめてくれ。待ってよ。人を怨霊みたいに言わないで。何したって言うのよ。あなたたちが買ってこいってビビってんじゃないのよ。私が閉じ込めたんじゃないわ。あの世とこの世の境目なの。何か妙な能力持ってる。
I love the way that this part does. It does the faces like that all the time.
Yeah.
And just with the music cue as well. It's so good. Really satisfying to watch. Bound spirit.
この辺から動けない幽霊に誰かに教えなくちゃと思っていろんな人はあなたたちが初めてよ。こんなにたくさん話ができる人がこう出る方法を教えるって言ったら教えが済んだらだけど。話？私ね、犯人の顔を見る前に背中からナイフで切り裂かれた。逃げようと必死だったからまだ捕まってないのよ。この森王朝のどこかにいるわ。それを知らせたかったやつはこの町に溶け込んでいるのよ。君の話ってのはまさか。 捕まえてくれとは言わないの。誰かに教えてほしいのよ。警察だとか犯人を捕まえ。なぜ僕らがそんなことしなくちゃいけない。
Come on.
いいから。僕は冷静な意見を言いたい。しまったことはそりゃあ気の毒だと。だと言ってなぜ僕が君個人の恨みつらみのためにこの世への未練は断ち切ってあの世へ行っちまった方がいい。あなたこの町の少年少女の行方不明者の数知ってる？いや。 全国平均の8倍って数よ。
Jesus.
全員とは言わないけど、奴の仕業だわ。ちょっと待ってよ、殺人が行われているって。君は犯人の顔も見ていないと言ったのに、なんでわかるの？殺された人の魂がよく飛んでいくから、これと同じ傷口を負って。すごい、こんなに深く長い。話はできないけど、何度も見たがよくわかるのよ。私にはわかるの。私が生まれ育った森王朝で、とても怖いわ。 そしてとても誇りがきず私の大好きな森王朝は殺人者の犯人を止めなきゃいけないのよ。今誰かが狙われてるわ。今度殺されるのは一体誰？あなたたち生きてる人間が町の誇りと平和を一体誰が取り戻すって言うのよ。わからないけど話は終わったわ。わかりました。とてもショックを受けました。でもなんとかしなくては。いこぶるなよ、コイチ君。
Come on, you are the perfect person to find a serial killer. You can just look at anyone who seems suspicious and see whether it was them or not.
白そうな漫画が描けるかもしれん。出口はこっちでいいのかい？根はいい人だなんて思わない方がいいですよ。聞いてるのか君？
出口に案内するわ。
出口どこ？
ポストの先を左に曲がるとすぐ。慌てないで。その先を通るにはちょいとしたルールがあるの。あのポストを越えて曲がった後、20メートルぐらい先に出口が見え、決して後ろを振り向かないと約束して。
なぜ？何のため？
この世とあの世の決まりなのよ。アーノルドだってもう分かってるのよ。
そりゃ犬にだって約束。
Are you
もし
sure?
振り向いたらどうなる？
私たちの魂はあの世へ引っ張られてしまうのよ。つまり死ぬ。怖がらないで。振り向かなければいいのよ。
今ポストを越える手を通り抜けて僕らの後ろの方へ
ついちゃダメよ。ゆっくりと落ち着いて歩いて。
Come on, guys. Whoa.
The shadows of like the afterlife or some shit. It's like Full Metal Alchemist.
何かいる。後ろに何かいるよ。
気にしないで。振り向かせようとしてくるの限り決して触ることはできないから。
Ew.
It's like trying to do everything it can to distract them or get their attention.
もう少しよ。あの光が出口よ。
Let's go.
先生走りましょう。
慌てないで。されるわよ。もう大丈夫よ。乗り越えたわ。そこからは振り向いてもいい。
No, you.
恐ろしかったよ。
嘘よ、光一くん。今の声。まだよ。まだ振り向いちゃうの。私一人の時はこんなことされなかったますなんて。
Oh no. Oh my
Koichi!
god. No.
Grabbed Echoes, his soul.
見なきゃいいんだろ。僕と一緒でよかったな。君は何も見えなくなって。
Pretty nice.
Nice. I was like, how the hell is he?
Yeah, he's blind! Pally's gone.
コンビニと薬屋の間に。
I like that it's specifically between something about it being between a convenience store and a drugstore. Like, I don't know, just the specificness of that specificity. It really helps, like, the believability or like it seem.
それまではここを離れられない。何か私に聞きたいことがあるときはいつでもここに来てね。でも会えるわ。ロハンちゃんに、光一くん。話を聞いてくれて心から感謝するわ。
あの小娘、僕のことをロハンちゃんだとよ。でもまあ、杉本レイミか。あの幽霊の生き方には尊敬する者がたった一人で15年も戦っていた。
I love the colors of that. The sky looks so nice.
Wasn't that so cool? Sugimoto grave, it's her gravesite.
あったぞ。杉本レイミ16裏が取れた。
おお、君はもしかして漫画家になったという岸辺露伴君かな。
僕を知っているのか。
露伴君、君はまだ4歳じゃったからな。当時君の家はあの近所にあったんじゃよ。県の夜、君のご両親は休養で近所付き合いで親しかった杉本家に幼い君を一晩だけ預けてな。君は杉本家に泊まっていたんじゃよ。そして君だけが助かった。警察に保護された時、君はたった一言だけをレイミお姉ちゃんが窓から逃がしてくれた。
Big sister Raimi, he said.
犯人が君を見つける前にレイミさんがかばってくれたのじゃな。
あの小娘、道理で慣れ慣れ
That's
しい。
so sad.
自分の遠い記憶と運命は読めない。
あなたがもしこの小道に迷い込んだ、決して後ろを振り返ってはならない。
What a cool line to end the
That was
episode.
cool.
Or it's not over. But just don't turn around like it's like a thing of resolve or like keep moving forward type thing. He's like, guys, there was this fucking ghost girl. She's just so cute.
幽霊に会ってみようじゃねえか。話を丈太郎さんやジョセフのじじいにしたら、この犯人はスタンド使いなのかって。
Mm-hmm.
I would have just. Well, we don't know. We don't know if it's a stand user. They've been getting away with murder for 15 years. They very well could be.
Jotaro and the Speedwagon Foundation, they care about stand users if it's killings and stuff like that. They don't, they're too big to get involved in every serial killer or incident. Holy shit.
Oh my god. Suspicious.
森王朝の起源はね、昔侍の別荘がうちの祖先もそうさ。でも祖父の代で落ちぶれてね、残ったのは今住んでる家だけ。会社勤め。買ってやった舶来の腕時計はどうした？ああ、バッグの中か。サイズがちょっと大きめだったんだな。明日直そう。どうした？何を恥ずかしがっている？足元に気をつけて。この週末は楽しく過ごそうじゃないか。二人きりで。
This song is so fucking iconic.
なんか垂れましたよ。お行儀の悪い人だ。自分で綺麗にしなさい。君の名前は何だったか思い出せないが、まあよくできたね。綺麗に拭き取れたよ。夕食も一緒に作ろうか。君の得意料理は何だい？
Soundtrack, Kira. Like killer. Same with Death Note.
Yeah.
Kira is killer. Oh, so welcome to
Alright.
part 4. This is where shit starts to go down. I knew when Rohan was introduced, it would start to go down. What are your impressions of this episode?
This was really interesting.
Good.
It was really good. Very different. I liked that. I don't know. It was interesting because, I mean, it still could be some weird stand thing going on, but it also could just be what they're saying it is, which is just like a weird supernatural, like purgatory type area here in the town. And I think that that's really cool. And we just have this cool, like, ghost girl and her dog who've been here for 15 years, and, like, anytime someone gets in there, they try to get them to listen, and nothing happens. I don't know, it's a very cool story that's so different from anything else that we've seen in this series that it just, I don't know, it's very refreshing.
Yeah, right?
It's just like, ooh. Like something genuinely different, not just the way that stands are different from all the stuff from part 2 and everything. It's just like I don't know. It's just something about it that
Something
is
about
really
it.
nice.
Something about it. But yeah, this is when the shit really picks up. This is when, like, I think part 4. This to me, from this till whenever this part of the thing ends, is my favorite part of the whole series, and I think it's just really well done. There's a lot more consistently episodes like this rather than just whatever, and the whatever episodes are fine, but the tone setting, the music choices, the colors, so even like this, the whole pink hue to everything, and more cool color, like they use a cooler palette, like a color temperature.
Yeah.
Everything's like, even the pinks are more like purpley, and the greens are more blue. Everything's a little bit more blue because it's like cold. It's like the afterlife. The sky's purple instead of like yellow or green or whatever.
It's really nice. The aesthetic is really there. She has such a cool design. I love the all pink.
Yeah.
It's just it's like almost like a ballerina aesthetic, because obviously a ballerina doesn't have that on their arms, but it's like the crosses on like ballet shoes she has like on her as her little arm things, and just like bows and stuff. And then how he was there the whole time. This is really reminding me kind of another show, but that I don't want to spoil. But I like that. It's kind of cool, and hopefully gonna bring him more into wanting to solve this, because he was kind of like it's not really our problem. Could be kind of cool for a book, but like that's gonna be a lot of like we're just two random guys, and this guy's.
But it's like they also started off the episode with him saying when he was talking about the map with Koichi, he was just like, it's very important for an artist to be in tune with their childhood memories, and he has this whole part of his life that is completely forgot or was hidden from him.
It's also cool how she like knew him the whole time.
Yeah.
But didn't reveal it. Yeah.
Didn't try to like convince him.
Oh,
or,
you
like,
have to do this
manipulate him
because I saved your life when you were 4 years old in my house.
Yeah. In a way, she might have been like relying on his good nature, or the fact that what she knew of him when he was very young and everything. And now he's all grown up, and they didn't write it in the subs, but he said REIMI Nechan, so he's like, big sister REIMI said that to stay outside the window or whatever. I love it's. Tell me if any huge JoJo fans are out there, but. Is Rohan, like, because if you look at Rohan's design and everything, and with knowledge of like future parts, he seems like a part 5 type guy to me. Like he seems more like the next step past like Josuke, and he looks like he could be like a Joestar lineage person, like with the dark hair and everything. And his design is so cool, and his powers so cool. You see, and just this duo of him and Koichi to me always struck me as like. What if, Araki was thinking, oh, maybe this will be like the next JoJo, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just, Rohan's design, everything about him is so cool and interesting and weird as fuck.
It's
like,
cool.
Josuke is a little bit more normal.
Yeah, it's actually, his design is kind of interesting because he has earrings, like similar to Paul Nareff, who had those like little, like, pink like half heart shaped earrings. Yeah, kind of similar. And then he has.
They're like a pen, kind of.
Yeah, but the like when you're just looking at them in the design, they're kind of a similar thing. And his headband is actually similar to in part 2 the like
Caesar.
Yeah, like having the like,
diamonds or whatever. Yeah.
Well, it was like triangles, right?
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So it's just kind of a similar thing coming back to that like headband aesthetic, which was kind of cool.
I love his shirt and the tie combo. Just looking at that is kind of cool with the symbols over there. I don't know. Oh, the fashion's obviously always on point in JoJo. Yeah. Anyway, I think this is where like the shit starts getting real, and we see the killer that we've been following since the first shot of episode 1. Kira, which apparently, or at least he's at the Kira household.
Is a different killer than the one serial killer murdering children? Or like, because she was like, do you know how many like boys and girls around this town have been going missing over the past little while?
Angelo was also a culprit of that, and they got Angelo.
That's
Angelo
true.
was a child rapist and murderer, and probably the worst fucking person in the whole series.
I kind of forgot that he had been like around for a while.
Yeah, and it's like that's why like a lot of rewatching this, it's hard to say, and I want to try and keep stuff like this to a minimum because I feel like it's a little bit too much insight for like you who's watching it for the first time, and I make that mistake sometimes where I get way too like into the writing of everything and not give something away, but sort of pour too much onto like these newer moments. But part of me wonders, like with the introduction of Rohan, with the more and more focus, less and less focus on Josuke, more and more focus on Koichi and Rohan, and that kind of duo, or Koichi in general, like. At least half of the episodes have been about Koichi. It always makes me wonder, and it's just a Joe bro thing where the main supporting character like gets a lot more play. It's in JoJo, that's like a big deal. But with the serial killer, with the new focus on secondary characters as if they're main characters, with them having a much more like complex stands, and everything, and like. It just seems like a big step forward, but it's also kind of locked down by part 4. Not that Josuke is not the main character; he's still very much the main character in the overall story. But it just makes me wonder. Like, I try to get in his head. Like, was he thinking of, rebooting the whole thing or finding a way to keep it fresh. Like, he goes, like, the first villain was set up as, like, a big villain, was taken care of pretty swiftly. And Josuke was like, I'm gonna protect this town. And then we move on to completely new, like, almost main characters. And another serial killer sort of refreshed. Yeah. Like, it just seems like, maybe in another world, maybe this could have been like the second draft where we start out with this, you know. Not that I would want it any other way, because what makes JoJo good is the fluid nature of the writing and how it really evolves and is very I don't know, just natural. It feels very naturally grown and good. I
guess what's different than
random,
what's different about the shift to like other characters other than Josuke in this part versus in part 3. Part 3, Jotaro didn't really feel like that much of a character or even a person.
Yeah.
He felt like I don't know,
fantasy.
A pair of sunglasses or some shit, like just something cool decoration on the side that gets brought out at the pivotal moment to be like, ugh.
Yeah, he was shown in power fantasy.
And then it's just like, it's just like, okay, whatever. The thing about this, and I didn't really like Polnareff that much either, but he did get a lot more play, but it was kind of just like what is going on here? Like, what are you trying to, like, do with all these characters?
Point,
you have half of them don't even get used 90% of the time. Like, you have Abdul, who has a cool stand, Magician's Red looks so sick.
Yeah.
And then he just dies, gets brought back to life, dies again, without doing much in between.
Part 3 has a lot of problems.
So there's a lot of problems with, like, the characters. In this one, what I'm trying to say, the difference is that we are, like, having a lot of, like, side character moments here. Koichi is getting a lot of play, but I don't feel like we're doing that because Josuke is a bad character or not worth spending time with. The episode right before this, we had the rat episode where Jotaro and Josuke, it was just about those two. They were hunting for rats. Previously, we had the Josuke and Joseph episodes where they were taking care of the baby. So we're not completely just like ditching him. We're just seeing multiple different things that are happening at a similar time. They're still in the town. They're still in school. They're not... The whole group is together at all times, only splitting up at convenient moments for them to get ambushed, kind of thing. Instead, they're just living their lives. When they find a stand, some shit happens and they like handle it accordingly. But it's just, I just feel like it's a lot better planned out, and they're using characters where it suits the story that they're telling for that thing. Not everyone was here because these were the best characters for this situation, kind of thing. Similar with the rats. We didn't need an entire squad of people to take down a rat. We needed just two guys.
Two really powerful guys.
Two really powerful guys that can shoot this. That can shoot the little ball bearings.
One healer, one person who could stop time.
Yeah, and they're family, so there's also that like bit of family bonding going on there as well. Jotaro comes and gets Josuke specifically to, like, you know, he potentially even could have handled it by himself if he was more experienced, you know, if he wanted to, but I don't know. It's just the overall, like, where the story's going. I'm not worried that we'll never see Josuke again or that he's any less relevant because we're getting a lot of Koichi. It's just, I don't know. It's just better and seems more suited to what's actually going on in the story.
It also, like, we talked about this a few times, but the fact that they're in a town, so the thing with the thing about this is it's part 4 comes after part 3 specifically because it's sort of challenging the conventions that were set up in part 3. In part 4, so in part 3 it's, you know, stand of the week, just exploring different power systems and different locations, and sort of a different story every week, and that was the format. So in this they do a similar thing, but because they did it the one way before where it's just a different villain every week, different monster every week, now they're rather than just killing the guy or retiring the guy and kicking him into the ocean or whatever, they're populating a set place and a town. And so when we see a new stand, it's not like, oh well, that's just over and now we'll never hear or see that again, unless it's brought up to like reference you know, a stand that has a similar ability or something. It's like it's filling out the world, and because it's such a set place and because Part 3 did it one way, and this is doing it another way. Rather than killing them, it's keeping them alive and letting them just live in the town, or maybe not even be evil or a villain or whatever. Like, it's good, but it's also, it's running, like, Part 3 walked so that Part 4 could run in that way in its singular episodes. I guess, I don't know. It's just, it's good to know and good to see the story really coming into focus here, and good to see like really nice episode banger after banger in Part 4. But we have to remember that it's working off what was already established by Part 3 and adding things where it wants. And Part 3, it felt like oftentimes had a really swollen cast because it was always like trying to get rid of one guy, like Kakyoin's in the hospital, or
it was always
Abdul's dead.
It always seemed like he wanted to write with with one or two of them there at a time for each stand.
He wanted to do what he was doing.
But what I'm saying is the problem with that was they were all together on a journey, so you have to then figure out ways to get rid of them, like putting them in the hospital, killing them off, then bringing them back.
Also, the fact that he was acquiescing to like. What the he was much more invested in the popularity polls, seemingly, at least in some ways, like the way he gave more play to certain characters and left out others, or the whole thing with Abdul where he killed him off because he didn't like drawing his hair, but he was really popular in Japan, so they brought him back only to kill him off like a couple episodes later. Like, in this one, it's much more his vision, it's much more open, and he learned from not his mistakes, but just from writing that really long part and really expanding as much as possible. It was what he wanted to do, and he didn't want to create something serious, a serious drama like we talked about at the end of Part 3. He wanted to create what he created, and I'm sure there's some things he might have wanted to change. But in this, he learned from that, the good and the bad, and is applying it here. And part of what he seemingly learned is make a bigger cast. If I want more characters, make more characters. Put a lot into all the other characters, and then I can shift the focus where I want.
And that's the thing about having it set in a town. I think the journey of the other one was part of the charm of it, but definitely limits you when you're moving people around. When everyone's in the town, you don't need to make excuses for where the other people are. They're just living their life in the town that they live in. We don't need to know, why isn't Josuke with them? He's at fucking school. You know what I mean? There's no they were in separate hotel rooms, and that's why these two are together and these two are getting ice cream, and we need to show that because or else it's where are they? In this town, everyone's just living their life and things are happening at
There's
random.
also just so much freedom because since there's so many characters in one place, and you can write, there's so much
you can bring people back and twist it around without
or just run into them at the store on the street or something. Hazamada, I didn't see you, whatever, let's walk to school. What's this crazy house? Did you know Rohan, Kishibe Rohan, the manga author, lives here? And then they go, and they could have been any character, but because he wanted to do something with whatever character, he had the freedom to do that because not every character's evil, and there's a lot more, way more unique stands, and people aren't just, being introduced and dying. And then, I don't know.
Yeah, they're also giving a lot more second chances to these stand users because a lot of them are just people who gained this power a couple weeks ago and weren't necessarily evil, but because of it were acting on their most evil kind of desires, but they weren't too far gone that they were and if they are Angela was turned into a rock to suffer for eternity. So it's you can die, but if
Pearl
you're just
Jam, or not Pearl Jam, Red Hot Chili Pepper is in the hospital and basically arrested by the Speedwagon Foundation and held in their custody.
So there's a lot more, and also you can't just kill every stand user in this town because or else then you're the serial killer of this town. You just roll into this new town, just kill everyone. But it's interesting. It's a lot different, and I think all the changes are definitely for the better and make it a lot stronger.
And I think all of that is kind of represented in this episode. There's an element of everything we've talked about throughout this episode. How I mentioned at the beginning when they were looking, and it's the alleyway between the convenience store and the drugstore is gone. Just something about that. Something about being in a smaller town, and it's between a specific, I don't know what it is. It's such a
here's-
weird thing to
here's what
describe,
what
but
I
it's like
feel-
between the drugstore and the convenience store.
I feel like
I don't know
it's
what it
because
is about
every
that.
time you see like any type of media about a small town, there's always like the grocery store and the drugstore, the convenience store and the drugstore, like, and they never change. The town's been there for like however many, like 100 years or some shit, and those buildings have always been there. It's not like a subdivision that could get leveled and
Yeah.
like made into something
Or like
else.
a strip mall or something.
Yeah, it's not like it's something that changes a lot. It's like those two stores are essential to this town, and they've been here forever. There's never been an alley between them.
Yeah.
Oh, now there's an alley between them. What, like...
I guess it's also
you
because I
know.
grew up in a really small town, and like things like that, like you know, just like the grocery, like you said, like the grocery store is that building in this place, and the alley around it or the path beside it is like a place, is like a walkway that people use or don't use or what. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like there's like this, I guess just the landmarks and the specificity of the town being like a concrete thing that exists in relation to other things rather than just being, oh, this thing, like, you know, whatever. When they were in part 3, for example, they'd walk past and this, whatever, this, he'd invent like some history about this cafe or this building or whatever. And it was cool, and the specificity in there is good, but it works so much better when you're in just one town, because you get things like the Angelo Stone, you get like Okuyasu's run down busted ass house, Rohan's house, and all of these different landmarks. It really adds a lot in the docks and everything, and there's just so much.
Yeah. And the fact that we could go there again.
And it
would
feels
be,
like you could go there, you know? Yeah. I don't know. It's just,
they're not places that you'll see once and then they cease to exist.
Yeah.
In the universe, you know.
I don't know what it is about that. It's just, it's really
It's
good.
a little bit cozy.
I think we're just move on to the next one. Hope you guys leave a like and subscribe. Buckle in for part 4. It starts now. Leave a like and subscribe. Check out Patreon. See you in the next one. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.